Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I'll be showing off this G1 Blitzwing that I built out of Lego. I know that I probably should have done this video like a month ago, but I just kind of forgot, so I guess I'm doing it now because I have time. But here he is in his take mode, and I really like how it looks. I like how clean it is and how there aren't very many exposed studs. The only real ones are at the bottom, which you probably won't see, which I'm happy with. And I also like how the shaping of the turret works, where unlike some of my other Transformers, it's not as blocky, and it's more of an oval shape, so I'm really happy with that. Some things that I don't like are that you can see his head sticking through the front, which is kind of annoying. And also, I don't like how you can see that a bunch of parts are the wrong color, mainly these parts in the front and also his forearm at the side, but these parts just didn't come in tan, and I couldn't cover this up without giving him a lot of kibble in his robot mode, which he already has a lot of. But yeah, that's his tank mode. It's basically just a brick with the turret on the top. For size comparisons, here he is with Astro Train, so you can see that they're about the same length, so you can see both of them together there. And also here is with Brawl, so you can see that he's about twice his length. So there's three of my Decepticons together. But yeah, that's about it for Blitzwing's tank mode. So to transform Blitzwing to his jet mode, the first thing that you want to do is take this whole turret section and rock it forward on these two joints. And then you want to take this top panel and rotate it around. After that, you want to take these two side panels and rotate them upward 90 degrees, and then rotate the whole front of the turret around 180 degrees, like this. After that, you want to take this back joint and rotate it around as well, so that this whole section is facing backwards, and then just rotate around these two sides of the turret again to where they were originally. And then that'll sort of be the landing gear of the jet mode. And then you can just take this whole section and flatten it against the legs, and kind of compress the legs and the turret together like that. And then that'll be the back of the jet mode. After that, for the sides, you just want to rotate these two sections around for the wings, and that'll basically be them done. And then for the tail fins, you want to rotate these sections up, get this panel out of the way, and then rotate up the tail fin. And then rotate this section back down. And that'll be one tail fin done, so do the same on the other side. So rotate this section up like this, and rotate this section down, and fold the whole leg down. And then there's basically the whole back of the jet mode done. After that, for the cockpit, you want to rotate up this panel, and then slide these two panels back to kind of give it more of a sleek look. And then take the head and fold it in, and that'll pull out the cockpit. And then fold this panel back down. And then after that, to kind of fix the proportions here, you want to take this section and rotate it about 45 degrees. So just rotate this down 45 degrees like that. And do the same on the other side, so rotate this section down like that. It's kind of tight because it's a Technic piece, but it works. And then just kind of take this section, straighten it out, and kind of hope it doesn't fall apart. And then you just want to take the legs and kind of rotate these two sides of the turret down for landing gear, and then just set it down on the ground, and that should hopefully stay. And there's Blitzwing in his jet mode. So here's Blitzwing in his jet mode, and it's probably his worst mode. I think it looks fine for what it is, but it definitely isn't his best one. So I guess I kind of like how a lot of his shaping works with these angles in the wings, and also how these cheese loops kind of add to the angles. And I also like how these parts kind of make it kind of sleek at the front, but I think besides that, the rest of it kind of sucks. I don't like how he has these giant gaps in the sides where these angles should connect to the cockpit, and I also don't like this giant gap going through the middle, and also how the turret just kind of sticks off the bottom. I think the whole thing would look a lot better if you just didn't have the turret on the bottom, or if you could just pull it off. But yeah. A detail that I kind of like about him is that he has these kibble parts at the sides, which I think kind of give him character. They're accurate to the cartoon and also probably his original toy, even though they are kind of ugly. So I guess it's kind of weird because I usually try to get rid of kibble, but in this case I kind of added it. And also his landing gear can kind of fold up and kind of be more flat against the rest of the body. So I guess you can kind of have that look. I think it looks a bit better because they aren't sticking off as much, but it kind of lands better, or it kind of sits flatter on the ground if you just pull them down like that. For, I guess, weapon storage, you can take his gun and kind of rest it in here to kind of fill in that gap. And you can also take this sword and attach it to his wing like this. So I guess there's weapon storage. It doesn't look very good, but I guess it works. And also for size comparisons, I'll just compare him to Brawl, so I guess you can see that they're both about the same size now, if you just ignore his wings. And also here he is with Astro Train, so you can see that he's a lot taller than Astro Train, but Astro Train is still a lot longer. So yeah, I guess that there they are again. But yeah, that's about it for Blitzwing's jet mode. So for transformation to robot mode, you basically just want to put him halfway back into tank mode. So the first thing that you want to do is just rotate up this panel again and bring its head back out. And then rotate, or slide these two panels forward again. And then rotate this panel back down. And then also for the turret, you want to take this whole section and rotate it around as well. And then rotate these two sections sideways. And rotate the whole thing around again. And then also after that, you want to rotate these two sections upward. So it's basically his turret flipped inside out. And then fold this up onto his back for his backpack. And then after that, for the arms, you just want to straighten these panels back out, or I guess these joints back out, so just kind of push them back forward, like that, and kind of hope they don't break. A lot of this model is really delicate. And then after that, you want to rotate these sections back, rotate this section up, open this section up so you can extend this bar, rotate this section to the side, attach this section back in because it broke again. Rotate this forearm section, rotate the shoulder pad forward, rotate this section forward, fold this section up, and then fold the whole thing forward again. And then compress it inward to the back of his body. And then that'll be one arm done. So do the same on the other side, so rotate this section outward, rotate this section up, rotate this section to the side, rotate this section around, rotate this back up, so that it's flat. Rotate the arm forward, slide this section out, rotate this section up, rotate this section down, and then slide the whole thing inward. And there's both his arms done. And then for his legs, it's pretty simple. Just take these sections and rotate them to the side for the detailing. So do the same on the other side, and then rotate up these two engines. And then that'll be his legs done. And there's Blitzwing in his robot mode. So hopefully he'll stand. So here's Blitzwing in his robot mode, and I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. I like how clean he is, similar to his tank mode. His waist is kind of based off of Astro Train's, you can see here. It kind of uses the same technique, just because I used it as a placeholder, but it worked well, so I just left it like that. And also, I like how clean he is around the back, where he doesn't have as much kibble as Astro Train does. His backpack kind of sits around the front over here, because I kind of based the design off the KFC version, instead of probably some of the better third-party versions. But I think the extra bulk kind of adds to his character. I think it works for his design. I also like the shaping, mainly in the forearms where it's kind of blocky. I like how he built those, where it looks kind of cartoony, but it also makes his forearms a bit too long, because it had to work like that for the transformation. So I don't really know how I feel about those. I think they look fine, but if you look at them too close, they look kind of out of proportion. For accessories, he has his gun, so he can hold this in his hand. It's a lot bigger than Astro Train's, so I guess stylistically it kind of looks kind of weird, but I guess it's fine. It kind of fell over trying to put it in his hand. And also he has a sword, which I'm really happy with. I like how the shaping kind of works out with the clips. So he can hold this as well. And there's Blitzwing with his weapons. For articulation, his head can rotate on a stud. The shoulders can rotate up and down on these joints, but they're not really supposed to, so they can rotate about 90 degrees. These front shoulder pads can rotate on the studs that they're attached to. The whole shoulder can rotate outward about 90 degrees. It could probably rotate all the way around about 180, but I don't really want to do that. The elbows can bend about 45 degrees, which kind of sucks. Or I guess the shoulders. The elbows can bend 90 degrees, so I think that's a bit better. The wrist can rotate, which I'm kind of happy with. I think it helps with sword poses. The hips can kick forward about 90 degrees. They can kick outward 90 degrees as well, but they kind of get in the way of the kibble. The legs can kick backward barely any. The knees can bend about 45 degrees, and then the feet can rotate up and down. So he doesn't really have very good articulation, so he's kind of just a glorified statue, but I think he looks fine just standing there, like that. For size comparisons, here he's with Astro Train, and also Brawl, so I guess that there's 3 of my Decepticons. And I think they all look decent together. I like how Blitzwing and Astro Train are the same height, and I think they scale decently with Brawl. But yeah, that's about it for Blitzwing's robot mode. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think, in my opinion, Astrotrain's definitely a lot better. Just because I think that he looks better proportionally, and I also always just generally like his design more. But I'm still happy with how Blitzwing turned out. I think Blitzwing kind of has better vehicle modes though, because I like how they're both equally half-assed instead of just one of them being that way, which Astrotrain's kind of is like. You can see here he's in a pose. It's definitely kind of limited because of articulation, but I think he looks fine. And yeah, that's about it for Blitzwing. Bye.